our locker rooms in one piece. And, like Ted, for me, locker rooms, a lot like my mom's bathing suits. Like to see them in one piece.
What did he say?
You know.
Yeah. You know how the story go. You done shot my style, you done stole my flow, you done seen me out, you can snow hello, and you wonder why, man, you know. Alrighty, welcome back everybody to the Pipala show. You know, what a couple days it's been. Jim Harbaugh just got signed to the Los Angeles Chargers. That's how we're going to open up this episode. Jim Harbaugh just got signed to the Los Angeles Chargers literally right after he won the national championship as head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. A lot of people are up in arms about it. A lot of people are excited. He gets to coach Justin Herbert now. Arguably a top 5 quarterback. If you've seen like the Subway commercials, Justin Herbert's in those. Regarded as a social media quarterback. Basically what that means is that he's really good in the stats, but he hasn't really won anything. They were up like 28-0 on the Jacksonville Jaguars last season, and they ended up losing that game. So their head coach got fired, and now Jim Harbaugh left Michigan to coach for the Los Angeles Chargers and coach Justin Herbert. So like I said, a lot of people up in arms about it. Here's from the Chargers website. So it says right here. The Los Angeles Chargers today agreed to terms with Jim Harbaugh as head coach. A former quarterback for the Chargers during the 99 and 2000 seasons, Harbaugh spent the past 9 years at his alma mater as head coach for the University of Michigan. Harbaugh rejoins the Chargers after having led Michigan to 3 consecutive Big Ten championships, 3 straight appearances in the college football playoff, and a perfect 15-0 this past season, and saw the Wolverines crown 2023 national championships. Jim Harbaugh is a football personified, and I can think of no one better to lead the Chargers forward, said owner and chairman of the board, Dean Spanos. Wow. Son of a coach, brother of a father, and father of a coach, who himself was coached by names like Schembechler and Ditka. For the past 2 decades, Jim has led hundreds of men to success everywhere he's been as their coach. And today, Jim Harbaugh returns to the Chargers, this time as our coach. Who has it better than us? And this is true, man. Think about it. So now that's a division with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Sean Payton, who, despite letting go of Russell Wilson, had a pretty terrific year for the Denver Broncos as head coach, his first season going 10-7. The Raiders are kind of a mess, although their most recent coaching hire, we'll see. He was interim head coach after their previous coach got fired. And so he was interim head coach and then just won the job recently. So we'll see how that goes. But things are kind of looking good for them because they were able to rack up a couple wins while he was interim coach. And then we have the Chargers, man. This is scary because Harbaugh has won wherever he's gone. He was at Stanford. He won there. He never won a national championship, but he elevated the program to a pretty high level. So he did that. And then he goes to coach the San Francisco 49ers. Now, he didn't win anything either there, but he won a bunch of division titles and got his team to the Super Bowl. And they lost to, obviously, John Harbaugh, his brother, the Ravens and the 49ers when they played. The power went out and stuff like that. And then he goes and turns Michigan, the football program, around. No question. He turned that program around, was able to beat Ohio State 3 straight times, and then just went 15-0 this past year, won the national championship. With that being said, there were all the accusations of cheating. Although they were never able to find anything that really added up, nothing of substance, nothing that stuck. There were a bunch of rumors that the NCAA had all these things lined up for this coming, so not next season, this coming season, in terms of like a penalty. There were rumors that the NCAA had all this mounting evidence that they just kept like collecting over periods of time, and they were going to unleash it on Harbaugh. And that's my conspiracy. I personally think that Harbaugh knew he was guilty, and he won everything he had to win at Michigan. 15-0 national championship. Let this be said real quick. I think he's a hell of a guy. I think he's a wonderful coach. Let's just put that out there. But I personally think that these allegations did have something of substance, and eventually he knew that things were going to stick. So, when Fit hit the shan, what did he do? He ran. Now, very controversial, I get that. But, like, think of it from his perspective. So he doesn't have to answer to the crimes that all this stuff happened under him, whether he knew it or not. These things happened under him. And so, why would you continue to be here at your alma mater, Michigan? You literally had the perfect season. Best season they've ever had, arguably. And you win the national championship. The last time it's a 14 playoff, ever, before it goes to 12. Now, you don't have to work year-round in terms of like recruiting, all the stress that brings. You're traveling the country. Now you have to navigate NIL too. That's another thing. Whereas, you're not, maybe it's an all-year job as the head coach of the Chargers, but you're not flying around the country recruiting, going on this draining trip, all these draining trips, energy, you time away from your family. I can imagine that that's not the best thing. And so that's why I think that he ended up fleeing Michigan, because he knew there were going to be consequences, and also, of course, the schedule is much better in the NFL. It's not as demanding as it is in college. So, they continued on. You don't build a resume by gyms like accident, and you don't do it by yourself, said football president of operations John Spanos. You need a team, and nobody has built a team more successfully and repeatedly in recent history than Jim Harbaugh. His former players swear by him, and his opponents swear at him. I misread that. Jim is 1-1, and we couldn't be more excited to have him back in the Chargers organization as our head coach. Harbaugh brings with him a winning culture, posting a 144-52 record as a collegiate head coach and a 44-22-1 record as an NFL head coach. In 4 years, he led the 49ers to 3 straight NFC championship games, including an appearance in Superbowl XLVII. I think it was like 48. Who cares? I can't read the Roman numerals past like 10. With a keen eye for talent and ability to develop stars, Harbaugh coached 9 eventual first-round selections over his 9-season tenure at Michigan. Over the course of 4 seasons with San Francisco, Harbaugh coached 17 players to a combined 30 Pro Bowl selections, the most Pro Bowlers in the NFL in that time. 8 of those players were also recognized as first-team All-Pro selections from the Associated Press, including linebackers like Patrick Willis twice and Navarro Bowman 3 times. He went on to say, "My love for Michigan, playing there and coming back to coach there, leaves a lasting impact. I'll always be a loyal Wolverine. I'm remarkably fortunate to have been afforded the privilege of coaching at places where life's journey has created strong personal connections for me. From working as an assistant coach at Western Kentucky alongside my father, Jack, and time as an assistant with the Raiders, to being a head coach at USD, Stanford, the 49ers, and Michigan. Each of those opportunities carried significance, each felt personal. When I played for the Chargers, the Spanos family could not have been more gracious or more welcoming. Being back here feels like home, and it's great to see that those things haven't changed." The Spanos family, the owners of the Chargers, have been criticized for being a little bit too conservative and never taking a swing. So this is good for them, man. I think that the Chargers will go far. I don't know if they're going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon, but certainly now they're going to have a coach that's not going to be just as quirky and as... I don't even have a word to describe him. Just their previous coach. I wasn't a fan. I don't think anybody else is a fan. I think he should have been fired after he blew the lead last year in the playoffs, but it's neither here nor there. They got the perfect hire, the Chargers, so great for them. I want to pull up a clip real quick about Jim Harbaugh, because we're talking about him today, and there's one quote. I mean, he was a quirky guy as well, but there's one quote from him that it leaves like a lasting impression in my mind. So I wanna play this for you guys and just listen to this.
Here's how you go from this to
We're gonna
that.
turn that ad down real quick here. We're gonna do a little ASMR. So this is it. ASMR. Sorry. All right, so here we go. This is my favorite Harbaugh quote.
Go back to that. It's like the Ted Lasso show. Believe. What comes out of that is believe, and I'm just so proud. So proud of our team. Despite that noise, our locker room's in one piece. And like Ted, for me, locker rooms, a lot like my mom's bathing suits. I like to see it in one piece.
If you didn't hear him, Jim Harbaugh said the locker room, his locker room at the time, was a lot like his mom's bathing suits. He likes to see them in one piece. And so that's my favorite quote by Harbaugh. All things considered, I'm from Ohio, and so I'm an Ohio State fan, and he beat Ohio State the past 3 years, so you love to see him go, but I can't root for the man more. I wish him so much success as the Chargers head coach, and he just, the more I learn about him, it seems like he's just a hell of a guy. And so as long as they don't play my other team, the Browns, I wish him nothing but continued success, and so just had to play that quote there. Let's talk about the NFL a little bit more. So we're in the Final Four now, guys. Final Four, NFC and AFC championships going on Sunday. And this is crazy because everybody doubted the Chiefs in the beginning of the season. Said, okay, well, you guys don't have any receivers, which is still true. I mean, Rashee Rice has kind of emerged as their number one, but the offense is not what it was in the past. Now, the defense is crazy, right? Everybody knows that. But Kelsey's looking a little bit older now, and just things didn't work. They were losing a lot more games in the regular season. Well, playoff time happened, and boom, they went on a roll. Played the Bills away, Patrick Mahomes' first away game ever in the playoffs, and they won. They won in terrific fashion. This is just how it works. So there was that. And now they play the Baltimore Ravens, who have been probably the best team in the NFL throughout the regular season and maybe the playoffs. We'll see. And I feel like this is pretty indicative of Lamar's career right now, right? If he loses this, he'll never hear the end of it. If he loses this, I fear that he'll never be able to win a Super Bowl. Truthful, because right now, Lamar is 27, 26. He's got age on his side right now. He has youth on his side. He's still young. He got the contract, so he's cool when it comes to money. I'm a fan of Lamar, too. In the offseason, he didn't have an agent. His mom was actually his agent and negotiated his whole contract extension. And he got a hell of a lot of money, too. In this past season, he's played like an MVP, I would say. Most definitely played like an MVP. And that Ravens defense is always so good. And now Lamar has receivers around him, too. They're getting Andrews back as well. Like it's working out well for him. But he doesn't have a lot of playoff wins. Not a lot of winning experience when it comes to the postseason in the past. And that's been the one knock against him. And so I don't know, if Lamar doesn't win this one, if he's not able to beat Mahomes and the Chiefs, I don't know. I hope he's able to win one. I'm a huge fan of Lamar. So we'll see. I don't know. My prediction personally, I do think they're going to win. I think Ravens over the Chiefs. It's going to be close. It's going to be tight. Might be a little bit ugly because both defenses are really good. But I'm picking the Ravens there, 100%, to advance to the Super Bowl, win the AFC Championship. Whew. And now, Detroit Lions, San Francisco 49ers. This is crazy because the Lions are pretty much just like the Browns. My favorite team. Both teams went 0-16. And both teams both cities come from a terrible, just economic hardship of a city. Both Detroit and Cleveland were once these great manufacturers of automobiles and steel. And unfortunately, with like a lot of the Midwest, those jobs were taken overseas. And so now both cities suffer from a lot of economic hardship. But Detroit more so, because Detroit had much more of a population. And so over the past 3 seasons, Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions have been able to transform the franchise. And now they are a well-run organization. It's crazy. I was watching videos of his press conference, and at first Dan Campbell looks like he's like this odd guy. It's just going to be another guy in the coaching carousel. But, they took Jared Goff and they took all these guys that weren't wanted, and they turned them into great players on a great team. Jared Goff is easily a top 10 quarterback right now in the NFL. And the fact that he's already been to a Super Bowl with the Rams, but the fact that he has a chance to beat the San Francisco 49ers and advance to a Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions, I'm sorry, I got to root for the Lions. Now, do I think that the 49ers are going to win? Man, I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be real tough. But I will say this. If the 49ers don't have Deebo Samuel, if they don't have Deebo Samuel, I think it's really hard to beat the Lions. Deebo Samuel's probably their best skill player. I would say that. Ayuk is good, but Deebo Samuel is just so dynamic. He can do everything. Outside of McCaffrey, of course, I think Deebo Samuel is their best. So we'll see on that regard. But if Deebo Samuel plays, I think the 49ers take it. Easy. No doubt. But if he doesn't, give me those Lions. So let's assume he doesn't play. Assuming Deebo Samuel doesn't play, give me the Lions to beat the 49ers and advance to the Super Bowl. So then it's going to be the Lions versus Rams, and that is going to be insane. 2 Midwest, is Baltimore in the Midwest? It's East Coast. But 2 cities with a lot of economic hardship. Baltimore also, a lot of economic hardship. Baltimore and Detroit, that's as rough as it gets. But those fans, they love their city, they love their teams. And at that point, I don't care who wins. Personally, I would like to see the Lions take it home a little bit more. But that'd be so cool. That's just one of those scenarios where it doesn't matter who wins. Both teams, they made it. It's a win for them. So that's my prediction. If it comes down to it, I'm going with the Lions. Lions over the Ravens. My prediction, it'll be close. Not as tight as the Ravens and the Chiefs. Give me the Lions by 7. We'll see. We'll see if these predictions even matter, because I guarantee I'm going to be wrong. I'm always wrong when it comes to stuff like this. That's why I really don't talk about it on my podcast. So we shall see. But there are other newsworthy topics. I would argue way more newsworthy than what I just talked about. Anybody know a guy named Kanye West? Oh, I do. You do too. Is he a stranger to controversy? No, quite the opposite. It seems like Kanye West is always inviting controversy, always inviting eyes. He recently posted over the past week all these near nude photos of his new wife, Bianca Censori, I think that's how you pronounce her name. And it's I thought you were a Christian, dude. I'm not going to show these photos here on the podcast. I think it's kind of inappropriate, and that's coming from me. So right there, that's how you know it's bad. But he posted a bunch of pictures on Instagram of his new wife in thongs, saying no pants this year. In these bras, it's a strap bra. It's barely covering her nipple. It's really bad in terms of just provocative. He's a dad of 4. What? And you're going to be posting that? I'd argue it's really disrespectful to his wife, and a lot of people in the comments section, I know because I follow Kanye, and I see this and I look at people that comment back, and they're like, man, how are you going to do this to your wife? It's disrespectful. And especially the drama with Kim Kardashian 5 years back. There was some drama where Kanye told Kim Kardashian not to wear this dress at the Met Gala because it was a little revealing. Said something to the degree of I feel uncomfortable. Okay, well, I think she still wore it, but it wasn't that bad comparing to this. I mean, guys, like, this is bad. It feels like he's borderline, like, disrespecting his wife, you know? Just, having her wear all these, like, really, really, really revealing clothes. And, like, I don't know. It's really provocative, and I get that's Kanye's thing. It gets the people going, right? But at the same time, I feel like, I mean, I don't know, but it doesn't look like she's, like, 100% willing, you know, in the pictures. I don't know. It's just weird. So, and it's oddly hypocritical, too, because not a couple years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, when Kanye said to Kim that she couldn't wear, like a dress. It was covering her whole body. It might have been, like, a little bit see-through, but it didn't look, like, slutty or anything like that compared to this. So, I don't know, man. I thought Kanye was a Christian, but I don't know. I'm not somebody that should judge. We'll put it like that. But he's got a new album now, and it makes me wonder if he's just posting all this to promote his album, which I will be listening to, and I know you will too. So, album's called Vultures. It's going to be Kanye's first proper album since his 2021 record, Donda, which received an Album of the Year nomination at the 64th Grammys. It wasn't. He released a part 2 of the project dubbed Donda 2, but it was reportedly never completed and made exclusively available on his STEM music player. Let's read a little bit more about this. So, it is quite interesting. He posted a video, Kanye did, and the album, like I said, it's called Vultures, but it's going to arrive in 3 volumes starting in February 9th. By the way, this has been very long delayed. I think Kanye announced this a while ago. He put out a single called Vultures with Ty Dolla $ign and a couple other rappers that, I'm not going to lie, I forget. But it was interesting because he always delays the albums when he releases it. He says he's going to drop it and then doesn't drop it for like a month. And so it's reportedly a collaborative album with Ty Dolla $ign. So he's been promoting it for months. It says right here, on Tuesday, after multiple setbacks and date changes, West once again doubled down on a fresh rollout plan that splits the album's release into 3 volumes, with the first edition slated for the 9th of February, 2024. Second volume is expected to arrive on March 8th, that's 3 days after my birthday, and the third part should follow on April 5th. These dates naturally are subject to change, considering West's history of postponements. And that's just like, it's a light explanation. He always does this shit. The latest announcement is part of a video trailer that compiles clips of a burning home, figures disguised in black cloaks, wolves, and more eerie imaging. The video is soundtracked by a reworked version of a previously released title track. Now, I will not be playing the video because I got in trouble. Not really in trouble, but if I ever want this account to be monetized on YouTube, then I can't be posting videos with, like, music that's copyrighted. Happened for my last episode, and it happened for the one with Byron Taylor. So I'm just going to kind of like, I'm not even gonna play it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to me. I don't know. It's just like, I don't want to get in trouble again, because like I eventually do want these videos to be monetized, and so I just don't want to like run into any problems in the future. That's all. But I do have something else that I think it's interesting, and we're gonna find out. So Ben Shapiro has been doing a series of videos, like new videos. Like he has this new thing, Ben, where it's literally called Ben, and like he goes into detail about different things and stuff. And in my opinion, it's like it focuses in on more problems at a greater depth than what he does on the Daily Wire when he does on his daily show. And so he's been doing like interviews with people. So he went to, for example, he went to the site of the Holocaust with Elon Musk, and he toured all of Auschwitz. And they video documented it. It was very powerful. Just very powerful video. And so then he's been doing other ones. So this video that I want to pull up now is with Lex Friedman. and this guy named Destiny. And Ben Shapiro did a video where it's the three of them, and they're asking if body count matters. So I haven't watched the video yet. I've seen it teased on social media, and I just wanted to play it for you guys, and we'll have this debate.
Rapid fire questions.
And the answer might.
1 second here. I'm gonna record it. We're gonna screen record this thing because I do want to put this on the screen. Alrighty, everybody. Here we go.
Rapid fire questions.
And the answer, my answer was go to church. Religion, yeah, I figured, yeah.
Well, we could talk about religion, but that's not rapid fire at all. Let me ask, this is from the internet. Does body count matter?
Jesus Christ. You're really bringing up the red pill stuff.
Are you avoiding answering?
I mean, it depends on who you are.
Oh,
if you're
yeah,
somebody that
that's-
doesn't care about it, it doesn't. If you're somebody that does care about it, yeah, it does, of course. Depends on the answer is yes.
Okay. Should porn be banned?
No. If you could do it, yes. There is no benefit to pornography. It's a waste of time and destructive to the.
I agree with Ben on that. Body count thing, I think it matters personally, but it doesn't define a person if they've like changed. I don't know. I try not to judge other people, but I know personally what my preferences are. But when it comes to porn, this is actually this is a problem. This is a debate I've been watching on the internet, and it actually made me unsubscribe to the Young Turks. So the Young Turks are like a left progressive leaning news account, right? And they were talking about this. And the Pope was talking about how pornography could be damaging. That's literally it, how it could be damaging, and it was advising against it, whatever. Cenk Uygur, founder of the Young Turks, he's like the host. He was like making fun of the Pope, and all these guys were making fun of the Pope, saying, oh, this old guy, what does he know, whatever. Oh, you can't. They were like, oh, the Pope said you can't watch porn because it's too good. So disrespectful. I had to unsubscribe. I consider myself very religious, and I have been open about like how pornography is very damaging. It could be very damaging to a lot of people, and so I don't know, because we're a free country. I don't know if we should necessarily ban it, because then we kind of get into like the authoritarian space. However, I kind of agree with Ben on this. It's just pornography is very harmful, and you could go down a deep dark spiral with porn. So that's all I'll say about that.
I can't believe I'm asking this question. Is OnlyFans empowering or destructive for women?
Jesus. These are rapid fire?
Yeah, just you keep.
I mean, it's probably empowering for the ones that are making a lot of money off it. It probably feels disempowering for others that feel affected by the culture norm set by women that do OnlyFans. There's my rapid fire answer. It's destructive to even the ones who are making a lot of money, because when you degrade yourself to being just a set of human body characteristics that other people jack off to, it's bad for you and it's bad for them.
Is rap music?
Absolutely.
Have you evolved on this? Or?
Have I evolved on this? Again, I'm going to go to what's the definition of music. My original argument about rap was that music involves the following three elements: rhythm, melody, harmony. Rap typically involves maybe one of those. There may be a melody, maybe, sometimes. So it depends on the kind of rap. With that said, I could be convinced on this issue, but listen, I'm a classical violinist. I mean, that's how I was raised.
Really? He hasn't listened to Gold Digger or any Jay-Z album. Wow. So Ben Shapiro doesn't think that rap music is rap. What? That's crazy.
I listen to Beethoven and Brahms and Mozart, like in the car with my kids. So,
What a loser.
oh, is it comparable? Is it in the same category as Beethoven, Brahms, and Mozart? I have a very hard time sticking it in the same category as that.
What a loser.
All right, you're.
I love Ben, by the way.
Class debaters, even public intellectuals, if I can say that.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
I'm real hard here.
I know. You both care about the truth. What is your process of arriving at the truth?
I think it's really important to, everybody will say that they're objective and that they are nonpartisan. I think it's really important to have mental safeguards for bad opinions. So, for instance, like a couple things that I'll ask myself is, for a particular debate that I'm having, like, can I argue convincingly both sides of the debate? If I can't, I won't bother having the debate, because I realize that I'm probably too partisanly dug in if I can't even represent like an opposite argument here. Another question that you might ask yourself is like, well, what would it take to convince you out of a certain position? If you feel very strongly that Medicare for all is a good system by which to run the United States healthcare, and somebody says, well, what would it take to convince you otherwise? If you can't even fathom, like, well, what would it take to convince me otherwise? You're probably too dug into a position. So I think if you go through life saying, like, well, I try my best to be unbiased, rather than saying, I try my best to be aware of my biases, because the latter is more realistic and the former is literally impossible unless you're a computer. So I think having like actual mental practices that you engage in to try to counter some of the biases that you have is more important than trying to pretend that you're free of all biases and then consuming all your media from one source. Yeah.
Right.
I agree with a lot of that. I think that the easiest practical guide is read a bunch of different things from a bunch of different sources, and where they cross is probably the set of facts, and then everything else is extrapolated opinion from different premises. That's sort of the short story. So read the New York Times and Breitbart, and they're going to disagree on a lot, but if the core of the story...
And the Daily Wire.
Certainly read the Daily Wire. If you read the Daily Wire and you read the Washington Post, and there's a nexus of the same thing, then you can pretty well guarantee that at least, if we're all blind men feeling the elephant, at least if we're all feeling the trunk, we know that there's a trunk there, right? You may not know what the elephant is.
And if you're feeling frisky, then watch Destiny as well. You've talked about, having a conversation, debating Ben for a long time. What is your favorite thing about Ben Shapiro?
My favorite thing about Ben Shapiro is, at least when we're in election season, he's very critical of his own party. I appreciate that. I feel like Ben generally tries to adhere more to the fact-based arguments than other conservatives that I listen to, which is something that I appreciate because it's more fun to fight on kind of like the factual grounds of discussing the
All right,
policy.
I'm not. Let's be done with that. Okay. That was interesting, man. I did not know that was going to go into porn and OnlyFans. I thought it was going to be like a debate on if body count actually mattered. So I apologize for everybody that was like excited about that and was expecting like a 5-10 minute. Oh boy, I can't breathe. Sorry about that. Yeah, like a 5-10 minute debate. Because that didn't happen at all. But fellas, that's really it. There's nothing else in the news cycle currently that I feel the need to talk about. I've got a great episode. Sorry if that was a little bit loud. I got a great episode with my friend Austin Brown. He went to the Iowa caucuses. He met Nikki Haley. He met Eric Trump. He met Vivek Ramaswamy. He met them all. And we got an episode that's coming up that we're going to talk about. The only problem, though, is that my iPhone stopped recording him about 37 minutes in. And the episode's like an hour 42. So, for an hour and 10, around an hour and 10, there's no footage of him. There's just footage of me from my camera. And so I'm kind of working on how I'm going to compensate for that. Because I don't want people to just stare at my face for an hour and 10 minutes when we got another guest. So I don't know what to do there. But we shall see. But that's it. So, have fun. Enjoy the AFC and the NFC championship. Me personally, I'm going to bet my house on the Ravens to win. And yeah, that's it. We'll see ya.